Hi everyone, I am with my good friend Derek Easley.
Hello.
It's your birthday week.
It's my birthday week celebration.
You're an older man now.
I'm an older man.
How do you feel really quick?
I feel old.
Great.
But spry.
You're not as old as me though, thank God.
Well, nobody's as old as Chad, MovieManCHAD Gleason. I felt like I had a piece of my youth recaptured today. I was really happy to have my family and friends join us to see an incredible film in IMAX here at the Irvine Spectrum.
Right behind us.
Right behind us. And
so, what did we see?
We saw Cinderella, directed by Kenneth Branagh.
But what are we going to talk about first, really quick?
Well, before we got to the delicious treat of Cinderella, we watched a short film, which we were both kind of curious regarding the box office draw of the Cinderella, how many people were coming to see Cinderella, and how many people were coming to see this short.
Frozen
Fever.
The
small follow-up to the biggest animated movie ever, Frozen.
Sadly. But having said that,
it's 8 minutes long.
8 minutes long.
And it's really not much of a story.
Having said that, you're a fan of Frozen, right?
I love Frozen, yeah.
I'm not a fan, but I don't hate Frozen. I just think it's very overrated.
Okay.
Mediocre.
That's fair. Well, I don't know.
But I try to go in with an open mind with this Frozen Fever. It's a short. It's 8 minutes long. And
it doesn't seem like 8 minutes long.
Did it feel faster or longer?
It felt faster.
You know, go ahead. Say what your feelings really quick about it.
I felt it was just a fun thing for the kids. You know, it was a nice little thing to see the characters back together, and you know, there's a lot of fans of Frozen who want more content, and they'll be getting that soon with you know, a Frozen 2 and a Frozen TV show, and they actually have Frozen on Ice, and they're doing Frozen stuff at Disneyland, and we're also featuring the Frozen characters, don't die Chad, and Once Upon a Time, the TV show, so they're getting lots of Frozen stuff. But this just felt like Frozen stuff. It didn't feel like it was much content. It was basically about a birthday party.
You know what, I have a few nice things to say about it. Again, the animation, you can always count on the animation being great. Right. And I like the time that Elsa, is that her name? Adina Benzel, right? Adele Mazine.
Adele Mazine.
As
John Travolta would say.
Every time she sneezed, little snowmans came.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that I really liked, and Olaf. I love Olaf. But everything else just felt like it was just, you know, just a cash grab, which I think the sequel is just a cash grab. Do we need more Frozen stuff? No. We can have more merchandise, and I believe in, you know, capitalization and merchandise and stuff like that, but I really don't have any desire for a Frozen 2, though I'll see it. But anyways, that's all I have to say. The song was whatever, and
there really wasn't much to the short. It was just about a birthday party, and you got to see the characters doing stuff again. So
yeah, it's
good for the kids. Basically.
Good for the kids. But I was there. Honestly, I was there. I was really excited.
I feel a lot of the other Disney shorts and Pixar shorts actually tell a story, or someone's moved or changed, or something special happens. This really didn't do that.
Yeah, it just makes me want a Tangled sequel more than a Frozen sequel.
I love a Tangled.
That we'd probably never get that. Anyways,
on to the main movie.
Oh we are here talking about Cinderella. I'll be honest with you. I'm a fan of the original, even though I think it's a little shallow when it comes to, like, you know, the princess is a princess and the
product of its time.
Yeah, it's a product of its time, but it has a lot of great imagination to it, great magic, and the side characters are more important than the main characters. But I was extremely excited to see this. I love the people who are making the film. Kenneth Branagh directed the movie. We got a cast of
Simon Kinberg produced it.
Yeah, we got a cast of knowns and a lot of unknowns to me.
People from Downton Abbey, people from Game of Thrones.
We got Kate Blanchett, Helen Bonham Carter,
Derek Jacobi,
Stellan Skarsgård. We're probably missing somebody else. Haley Atwell's got a cameo, and Ben Chaplin. So we got all these recognizable. But the star of this movie, playing Cinderella, is an actress that I'm not aware of, but she's from Downton Abbey.
Yeah, my sister's a huge Downton Abbey fan, so she was excited to see two actors from Downton Abbey, and she really likes Lily James. And wow, like, I leaned over to my sister at one point when we're watching the film, and I'm like, not only is this actress just radiant and just beautiful, but she just totally captured the essence and the spirit of Cinderella, of innocence, of kindness, of warmth, and she just kind of shined on the screen.
Yeah, I do want to mention that Richard Madden from Game of Thrones is in this as well, but that rounds out the cast, at least the noticeable cast that I recognize. Even though I did Rob Brydon, who is in a movie series I like, The Trip to Italy. He's the painter guy.
Yeah,
a little funny cameo from him. Anyways, you've said a few of your feelings about it.
I feel like the movie is just fantastic escapism. The movie deals with believing in magic,
courage, and being kind.
Courage,
a lot of that.
Being courageous and being kind, and there's some sad scenes as we know that Cinderella, the typical tropes of Cinderella is that she goes through some hardships, but there's some really fantastic moments of magic when we see Cinderella's happy life before the stepmother and stepsisters come into the picture, and then as she's having this kind of magical encounters with the prince and the things that end up happening with the fairy godmother, they're just beautifully shot, and like you just kind of go through all this joy and feelings with the characters, and I loved it.
Yeah, one of my biggest worries is we know this story, we know how it's going to end.
How can it be fresh?
How can it be fresh? How can it be new? And I think the filmmakers realize that because they do cross all the T's and dot all the I's to get all the moments. They do try and do some things different from the original, because this thing is probably more true to the original Disney film. And I liked how it kind of broke away from that at times. At the same time, it kind of nodded at it and go, here's something we're throwing at you just really quick to pay respect to the original film and why people loved it so much. But as someone who was having those feelings and having some very exciting feelings, it lived up to everything I hoped and dreamed it would be. From the trailers, I remember seeing the trailers and going, wow, the movie just looks good. It looks like they went on to this magical land and they shot on location, and I have a feeling that that's what they did for the most part. Their sets are such detail.
Sets, art direction is fantastic.
Yeah, I hope this movie gets remembered, at least in the technical department. Sometimes the great acting will be forgotten for this film, but I think Lily James gives an amazing performance, a star-making performance as Cinderella, and Kate Blanchett
should be nominated.
She should be nominated. She's fantastic in a supporting role.
The scenery, there's some great, just amazing, like Sunset Boulevard type moments where she just eats up this role and is wickedly delicious.
And they could have just did a throw it all together kind of job, because they actually give you reason why the stepmother is who she is. She has reason. You might not agree with those reasons, but it at least gives her some importance. So when she does explain herself, she's like, I understand where she's coming from. So there's a lot of what I was happy that most of the characters were not one-dimensional. Everybody had some sort of depth to it. She has some
depth. Whereas with Maleficent, I think they tried to do a lot of kind of revisionist history and to explain why Maleficent was the way she was, and actually ended up making her a hero and not just a bad guy. They let the wicked stepmother, evil stepmother, whatever you want to traditionally call her,
be evil.
Fulfill her role and do what she was meant to do in the fairy tale.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great, and I thought there's some great moments between the king and the prince, about loyalty and doing what's best for the kingdom, and relationships between fathers and sons, relationships between mother and daughter, between daughter and father with Cinderella and her dad. So just great family film. I recommend it for all ages, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was visually stunning.
I do want to mention the music by Patrick Doyle. I want to talk about this really quick, how beautiful and wondrous that was, and just added another layer to the movie. But this movie is not only cinematically magical to watch, but technically, from every detail, from the CGI that looks really great, from the transformations of how the what do they call that thing? The pumpkin that becomes the carriage.
Transforming the dress, the pumpkin.
Oh, that scene where she's transforming the dress, it was such a just beautiful.
And the whole ball scene was just fantastic. Dancing, just the expressions, everything was great.
Again, the attention to detail with this movie, it's a great looking film, and I hope that the Academy recognizes it, at least on a technical level. They'll probably forget some of the acting, sadly, because I think some of it is deserving. Even Derek Jacobi, who plays the father, the king, he actually gets a really nice moment a few times with his son. That's how much detail was put in this movie. And I hate to compare it to Maleficent, but it's just so easy to do that because that just came out last year, where that was everything that's wrong with these remakes that are coming out. But now seeing Cinderella and going, okay, I have hope for Beauty and the Beast, and I have hope for Little Mermaid, or even God forbid, a Frozen live action film. You know,
they're gonna keep making animated Frozen for a while. But so far with kind of these live action stories that Disney's doing recently, we saw Alice in Wonderland, we saw Oz, we saw Maleficent being Beauty and the Beast, and now Cinderella and upcoming Beauty and the Beast. So I feel like, I think they can really make some quality stuff here. I think they're all going to make money, and I think they can entertain us in new ways from the original content, but also kind of stay true for the original fans and kind of make everybody happy, hopefully.
Yeah, movies like this don't get more perfect. This is a very magical film on a cinematic and technical level, and I'll say it right here, Walt Disney, if he was alive today, he'd be proud of this.
I agree, 100%.
It was definitely true to his original vision and his artists, the people that he employed to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And now I felt like when I was watching it, I just felt like I was a young kid watching Disney animated films back home when I had them in the clamshells, those clamshells.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I felt like a kid again. And I will admit, that Lily James, she's got an amazing future ahead of her. She's beautiful to look at. She gave an amazing performance, an award-winning multi-layered performance, and I'm in love with her now. I'm going to be following her career, not as a stalker, but as an admirer.
I'm impressed with Chris Weitz, the screenwriter. He worked on the American Pie films. He worked on Golden Compass, which I didn't enjoy too much, and then he worked on the Twilight stuff.
New Moon. He directed New Moon. And he's also writing. He's writing, I think, a Star Wars movie.
And then, a shout out to the cinematographer Harris Zambarlukas. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but wow, it just looked so darn beautiful.
I hope that I
he worked on Mamma Mia. He worked on Thor.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh.
Jeez,
want to talk about Kenneth Branagh really quick?
Kenneth Branagh is really, is such a talent as far as film actor. He's a writer. He's a theatrical actor, and he's really upped his game with his directing from Hamlet to Thor to Cinderella, and it's just beautiful. And he is a masterful storyteller, I feel. He treats this movie like it's not just some silly princess film. He really opens up this world on a visual level with the amazing stages. And I pray that stage, all the craftsmanship that felt like looked like a real set. Yeah.
Not something that was CGI or thrown together in the last minute. It felt like a real set that people were able to dance around. And I look forward to the Blu-ray to see that special feature of the making of that set.
Yeah.
And the mini sets that are in this film. But I don't really have anything negative to say. I bet there's something, maybe after a second viewing, I'll find something that's kind of negative to say. Even Helen Bonham Carter's great in the film. And again, I love the little nods to Cinderella. And that it wasn't a musical. That's one thing I'm glad this is not a musical, though they have the songs during the credits that are from the original movie.
Which Lily James sings one and Helena Bonham Carter sings the other.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool that they had that at the end. They wasn't part of the movie. So the movie could not just be a copy of the original, but be a movie into itself, on its own, alone, and fresh and new. I mean, as I was watching, I'm like, okay, they're making that point, but the way they go and move around all the points that they have to make to the story.
Well, one thing, just to be modern for a second, I know it's classic fairy tale, but one thing to be modern about, I think, one thing that Disney, as a kind of historical, culture has been criticized about. It's like, the princesses, the damsels in distress. And yes, Cinderella is, a servant maid girl in this by circumstance, but they explain kind of why she's a victim of the circumstance. She has loyalty to the memory of her parents and this house. So she could just walk out. She's even asked about it at one point in the movie, why don't you just leave? But she is trying to be good and trying to do the right thing. And she's trying to be kind. And there are moments where it's not just, I have a Prince Charming who's going to come save me. she actually stands up and speaks her mind and fights for what she believes in, and it actually shows that she is a very strong character. So as for a
She's
modern,
not just a damsel in distress.
right,
A little bit, but not too much.
But I think a lot of it's her conscious decisions of what she's trying to do in life, and she's trying to be a good person. So I feel that
be kind and courageous.
Yeah.
So they do say that a lot.
So I do think her character is brave, and then also so that's a feminist thing there that they're doing, and also they also made it a very multicultural film.
Yes.
There was even Asian extras I saw, but there are a number of African American characters and Hispanic, and so they took a traditionally European Caucasian story and made it modern by bringing in different cultures in it, and so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I can't think of anything negative to point out right now about this movie. Maybe on a second view I'll see some of the mistakes.
Yeah, it's one of my. I mean, it's only March, but it's really might be the best movie I've seen this year, or it's got to be in my top 2 or 3, and it's really perfect to see for my birthday and to share this experience with family and friends. And we were all laughing, and the crowd was cheering and clapping different points, and my family was crying at all the right spots, and really kind of tugged at the heartstrings and was an emotional, beautiful film.
Yeah, and I am happy and shocked to be agreeing with that, because this could have been a total disaster and a complete unnecessary production, and it didn't feel that way at all. It felt like it was important. Like the story needed to be told again. They did it. I don't know how they did it, but they did. They did a good just attention to the details, the little things that we are so desensitized when we go see movies that we don't see too much attention. It just focus on that story. But I like little nods to things when it came to the original material and to the world that they created. So what do you want to say?
I was going to ask you about the prince. Like, did you feel like that they gave him some depth as far as
with the father stuff? That really helped it. Like, he had a relationship with his dad. He loved his dad, and so that gave him some depth. So he wasn't just a one-note character.
One scene I thought was great. Yes, one scene I thought was great was where they first meet on horseback, Cinderella and Kit the prince. But I thought, instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm the prince and you're a beautiful maiden," like, I need to fall in love with you, I thought they actually had really good chemistry, and I thought it was believable that these people connected.
Because they have to get past that hurdle of like, okay, we know that they just meet and they fall in love. So how can we make this different? And they did a really good job. They don't have this amazing, like, Beauty and the Beast is going to have a castle and this, like, you're my prisoner or stuff like that. If it's going to be based on at least the original Disney '91 film,
right?
They had that didn't have that big hurdle because she was confined there. And this one, the world is expanded. And how can we get over that hurdle of like, oh, true love? And they do it,
but they
somewhat realistically.
They had conversations.
They had conversations.
They didn't just dance and that was it. Like, they actually had some scenes, right?
Yeah, and that's what I appreciated. It could have been so unrealistic because if you look at the original Cinderella story or the little movie, it's silly, it's fluff. It's got some great music and great characters, but in the end, it's just like, oh, I love you, you're pretty, I'm not, In this one, yes, everybody's really good looking, but they really feel like they have somewhat connection in a short period of time. They did a good job to do that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyways, anything else you want to say before we close out?
Kate Blanchett. Norma Desmond type performance.
Yeah, she is great in the film. This gives me hope for remakes coming from Disney. Especially what happened last year. So I'm trying to think of the positive stuff, and I saw it in IMAX. Luckily, it wasn't in 3D, and the movie just looked astonishing on the big screen with the sound. It's a cinematic and technical achievement.
The colors, the colorists on this film, and this, wow, it's like an old 50s Technicolor, dreamscape up in the big screen.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now. It is one of my favorite movies of 2015, and I don't know where it'll be placed by the end of the year because I'm hoping for even more amazing films as this, more exciting and entertaining films as this one. And I expect that. I think it's going to be a great year of cinema. But what a great way to start off March, and one of the best films of 2015. So there you go. That's how I feel about the movie. I'll give it 4 out of 4 stars. I don't really have any issues with it. Again, they might be there after a second viewing, but I'll probably be more forgiving because it's just the all around good feeling experience that I had with this movie. Really quickly who you are, and we'll be out of here.
I'm Derek Heasley. You can find me on IMDb or on Twitter at Fortress of Derek, and I also am the contributor, senior film and television correspondent for GameFob Network. That's GameFob.com. And Chad and I both work with the Long Beach Acting and Film Association. You can find us on Facebook or LBAFA.org, LBAFA.org.
All right, everyone, in the comment box below, what did you think of this brand new Cinderella? What is your favorite animated Disney film of all time?
Is there another good question? Is there an animated Disney film that you would like to see as a live action adaptation? Because we know Beauty and the Beast coming up and Jungle Book, right?
Yeah, and Jungle Book. So put those comments in the comment below, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.